here with Coach Ryan Strapp,
Hello.
and just going to talk to you a little bit about hockey season started.
Been waiting all year for hockey season.
Yeah, so I coach the 16U AA team here, mainly 2010s, a few 09s on my team. Coach Ryan coaches 12U as well as 14U.
Yes, sir.
And we both had a few games this weekend. Strapp, tell me about your games, what you like, what you didn't like.
So I had my first game with my Pee-wees. This is my first time with them in a game setting. Very impressed with the way that they move the puck. It's nice to see some of the things that we did in training throughout the summer actually pay off. Just little things like button hook turns and good breakouts, that kind of stuff. And then I've been with my 14U group for a while now. Just keep climbing the mountain with them. We won the league last year, not a big deal. Same thing. Now that they're older, I try having them do a little more game situation stuff, a little more puck stuff as opposed to skill stuff like I do with the 12Us. And same thing. I mean, our 14U team's looking good. Just improving as the years go on. It's great to see.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. My 16U team, we're off to a hot start, 2-1 over the weekend. And I think I agree with what you said about different situational drills, different game drills, different, running a practice plan. For me, especially with this team, I've had these 2010s now this is now
It's been forever.
5th year almost with some of these kids. And it's a build. It's not just like you said with your 2011 with your 14U group. Like you said, it's a build up. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And each year you're working on some things, and you're building off of not just last practice, but last year as well. And you keep growing, keep getting chemistry with the team. You keep building and improving.
That's the craziest thing to see is like, these kids have been playing together on the same line for, even 1 year to 2 years, just the type of things that they do with each other, the way they know where they're going to be, the way we're not like throw the puck, but it's like, I know so-and-so is going to bail me out if I just shoot it on net here as opposed to trying to force a pass. It's like I said, they know where each other are going to be at now, and it's just the feeling out process of the chemistry it's really cool to see.
100%. So now you're coaching two teams, and how would your practices differ between your 12U team versus your 14U team, in the sense that, like you said, between skill work and game situational stuff? How do you kind of practice plan for a difference between an older team and a younger team?
With the older group, I kind of just try to take what they did, or from what I saw in the game, what I think they need to work on. Like, for instance, if we were getting beat off the cycle, we'll do some one-on-one drills, two-on-one drills off the wall at practice, a lot of cycling, puck movement type of stuff. With the younger group, I try to do a 20-20-20 method. 20 minutes of skill stuff, 20 minutes of team drills, passing, that things that they're going to do in the game. And then the last 20, like a small area game, obviously, multiple small area games, but just so they touch on everything at practice. They get the skills, they get the team stuff, and then they get the games so they're happy. You try to keep the younger kids engaged a little more, a little more of a fun style practice. Whereas with the older group, I mean, even you could just ask them, hey, what do you guys want to work on today? And they're mature enough to give you a good answer to where you're going to have a good practice.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I kind of run the same kind of practice with my 16U team, in the sense that you're not really working on rudimental, the fundamental kind of drills that you would with like a 12U, 10U team. You're still working on skills, the passing, the skating, the edge work, the stick handling, that kind of stuff. But there's more of in game situational types, right? It's like you said, 2-on-1s off the walls, or 3-on-3 play, or 3-on-2s out of the corner, 4-checking drills, that kind of stuff, where it's a little bit more systematic, a little bit more game situational based. But you're still working on the fundamental skills. They're just not in the same sense of
it's just elevated.
Skating around the cone.
Yeah, it's
elevated. And like you said, you kind of look at, all right, our last game, what did we do well? What did we do poorly? And, how do we build and improve on those deficiencies? My team, for example, we in 3 games, we scored 9 goals, I think.
Not a big deal.
No, more than that. No, I think we did. No, we scored more than that. We scored 16 goals in 3 games. But we also, the one game we lost, we gave up 5. So right there, we know I got to work on our own, how things work in our own zone. We got to make sure defensively we're better and clean up on that, because the 2 games that we won, we gave up 1 goal and 2 goals. So right there, clean up a little defensively. So this week with practice, we're going to work on more defensive in front of the net kind of stuff. What do you see? A couple things. One, what is your favorite thing about coaching? And 2, what are some challenges that you face as a coach that you could provide some advice to maybe some newer coaches out there who maybe don't really know what they're getting themselves into yet?
Favorite things, probably the dynamic of building the relationships with the kids. I mean, especially, like I said, I've been with the 14 group for a while now. So, yes, I'm their coach. Yes, I'm authoritative figure, for lack of a better term. But I'm still kind of their friend a little bit. You know what I mean? Obviously, when you got to tighten the belt, you got to tighten the belt. But they respect that, and they get that now. You know, they understand that I'm there for work. You know what I mean? So, you know, yeah, they'll tell me how their day was. You know, we'll crack jokes, bust each other's chops. But at the end of the day, you know, we're still there. I'm still their coach. And, you know, they're still here to work with me type of thing. What was the second one again?
Some of the challenges that you face that you can kind of take and give advice to some newer coaches who are getting in, who, like I said, may not fully understand what they're getting themselves into just yet.
Yeah, the challenge is, well, it's a great job, honestly, but not being too, you know, it's only been 10 years or whatever since I played competitively. The toughest thing for me is kind of settling down. Like, I get fired up for games, you know, like if I'm going to go, I want to win, you know what I mean? So I get game day butterflies, game day anxiety, just like I did as if I was playing. But I have to realize, the biggest challenge is I have to realize that I gotta let the kids do their thing, and I'm not the one playing, you know? So just try to be the best that I can be for them, be the coach that I always wanted to have for them. And with that comes the anxiety of wanting to do well for them, wanting to have the best for them. And I think that the toughest thing is kind of easing off the gas a little bit in personal terms for the game. Obviously the balance of, you know, the parents and the kids too, but if they respect you, if you respect them, parents and kids, it's going to be a great dynamic at the rink. And that's all you want. You know, you want to be positive. You want the rink and the team to be somewhere that you want to go. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to let off steam at the rink. You know, it's supposed to be fun, but it's still competitive, and, you know, you got to know when you're there to work.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I would agree that my favorite aspect of this job is the relationships that you build, the people you make, the people you meet, and the relationship you make with these people and their families, and you become really close with the kids.
It's your extended family.
Yeah,
you know?
that is 100% the best part. You know, I think some of the challenges, one for me is because of those relationships that you build, it's finding the balance between keeping it personal and business.
Yeah, it's so hard to, like, let them down.
Yes.
Like, you feel it emotionally. Like, when they're sad
Yes.
or happy, you feel it just like they do.
Like, especially during tryouts, you know, when it comes to making a hard roster decision or lines and getting these kids out there, and who gets upset because they don't get enough playing time. It's like, well, off the ice, you're very close to this kid, but on the ice, in the moment, you have to make sure that you're doing what's best for your team. And sometimes it's very hard separating that personal side and the personal relationships you have with these players and the business aspect of it, especially with the players and the parents and all that, because like you said, you do get really close with a lot of these families, especially the ones that you've known from years. And sometimes, like during tryouts, it's knowing when to move on from a player.
Vice versa too.
Vice versa. When they leave, hard not to take that personally. But at the end of the day, that's the business side. You just kind of
everybody's got to do what's best for themselves, what's best for them, their kids, what's best for their time as a family, and then the flip side, everybody's got to do what's best for the future team, potential team. So it's pretty much it's a tough balance, but it's part of the job.
Yeah, 100%. And look, coaching, the highs are highs, but the lows can be also very, very low. So having someone to like lean on, your friends, a partner, that kind of stuff always helps. But yeah, I think that we're gonna wrap it up. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Of course.
Thanks for providing your insight.
Sweaty hand.
And thanks for watching. We'll see you guys all at the rink.